Sure. I'll repeat what I've been saying. I think this week, including last week, has just been such a win for the men's volleyball collegiate industry. To have a legitimate ramp up to a Final Four team standing has been really exciting for the volleyball community. We were so excited when we had expansion and we went to these 8 teams, but then we were playing this Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it's like it was over as soon as it began. And obviously you got a bunch of teams that enter this tournament. We all want to win it, but I think really the winner here is going to be collegiate men's volleyball. This has been so exciting. To have legitimate matchups last weekend, to let the suspense build a little bit, and then to be able to roll out a week later, just even with the media presence that's in the room. I mean, there's a lot of eyeballs on collegiate men's volleyball right now. It's a really exciting time. So I'm just fired up to the committee for the work they've done, fired up for the coaches that have been advocating for this, and fired up for all the institutions across the country that have taken a chance on men's volleyball and see it doing good things for the university. So.
Obviously, there was a little bit of controversy last week. That aside, how are you keeping your team focused on the match in front of you in this weekend on the court?
Yeah, we had some good practice of that going into last week. It's such a quick turnaround. You play a Friday night match and then getting ready to play a Saturday night match. There really was no turnaround time, and so it was kind of like, gosh, there's this noise and it was just kind of let's lock into the next point, and that's really kind of where we've been at. So I know it's not a super engaging or fun response, but I think as we go through sports, that we heard a sports psychologist say one time, the greatest currency of the elite athlete is attention, and I think we're just trying to go back to that as kind of a calling point for us, is where is our focus, and just making sure it's a mindful conversation.
This question is for you, Andre. All the awards are revealed this week, and unanimous, not only Big West Freshman Player of the Year, but ABCA Freshman Player of the Year. What are your thoughts on receiving both of those honors, being you're still a young pup?
No, so it's great. I think that also came with how well our team did this year, how we put ourselves in the position of having a few players on our team having some personal awards. I think that was really a team effort. And then just personally, I just really enjoyed this season, and I was just playing my volleyball, and we won some good games, had some good matches, and I think that helped for me getting this award.
Coach Kniffen, take us back to that challenge in the last match. I tried to do my best lip reading, but what were you telling your guys during that timeout?
I was just reminding them of the commitment we made, which was we were going to keep, you guys correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe I just said, we said we were going to compete until the match was over, and the match isn't over yet. So let's talk about what's happening next. Let's prepare for the next point, and when that whistle blows, one way or another, we're either going full effort into this or not. But I think that was it. We were actively coaching at that moment.
Question for Micah and Shane. How does it feel for you guys to be back in the Final Four? Irvine has won a title in a little bit, so how does it feel to be back in that Final Four stage and hopefully bring home a title for Irvine?
You're going to get 2 different answers here, because this will be Micah's first time, and this will be Shane's second time, so I'd love to hear both.
Got it.
I'd say, first off, we've been working really hard to get the opportunity to compete here and make it all the way to the Final Four. So, we're just working hard to try to achieve our mission, which is to win this next match ahead of us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty blessed. Obviously, it's no secret that if they didn't expand the tournament, we probably wouldn't be here in the first place. So just trying to take that perspective into every single moment that we have here.
Another question for you, Shane. Obviously, this past week, you're named NCAA First Team All-American. Congratulations on that. Obviously, we know that there wasn't a libero on the first team last year. So what does it mean to you to kind of put liberos back in the spotlight and get that recognition? Obviously, not just for yourself, but for all liberos, and they can pass them forward.
Yeah, it's everything. Again, super blessed, super humbled by that. Like Andre said, it's a team award. Couldn't have done it without my passers. Couldn't have done it without Niff taking a chance on me coming out of high school, with Brinkley helping me with my passing, with my setter getting all my tight passes, with my middles putting the balls away. But yeah, it's a team award.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool for me to watch that too. Like, there's in a totally appropriate way, there's fingerprints all over Shane on this one, and like guys like Brett Sheward and Cole Power that just like in his redshirt freshman year were just, I get the impression, just hanging out with you in the gym all the time. And I think Shane just kind of learned by watching some of those older guys come through. I mean, Cole Power is the best statistical passer in 2024 in the country, and and then Brett Sheward, someone with just so much experience in the league. He played 5 years and then he did his 6th year because of COVID with us. And I just, for young players to be around those kinds of mentors, I mean, that's like, as a coach, that's just the dream. And so to watch Shane be so willing to accept that and kind of put his own signature on it later is just super cool. Yeah.
For all of you, playing in the Big West kind of readies you for this moment, playing against tough competition every match, and with 3 Big West teams here, just kind of reflect on the strength of the conference and seeing your counterparts here in the Final Four this week.
Sort of coach, then work our way down.
Yeah, I always love giving the Big West credit where the Big West is due credit. I will say also, we tactically try to put the toughest possible schedule in front of us. So we don't get to elect our schedule with the Big West. That's given to us, and it's great that there's great teams. We also actively try to go out and play the best teams we can. So by the time this thing ends, we will have played the EIVA champion, the MIVA champion, the MPSF champion, the Big West champion a couple times, and then add on the gauntlet of the Big West plus a couple matches up at BYU, which is a hard place to play. And I just, as a competitor, regardless of outcome, this has been one of the most fun seasons just to compete. And I think that's something I just want to keep remembering the longer I do this is we're all trying to win, but I love that we get to play great volleyball all year, and we actively seek out the best possible teams we can. And the fact that we've been given this gift in the NCAA tournament to compete again against some of the best is just super exciting for us.
Andre, Micah, Shane, anything on that?
Yeah, I think NIF plans our schedule with this NCAA championship goal in mind. We want to be as prepped for that as possible. And in our mind, that is by playing the best possible teams in the country. And obviously, every team in the Big West is amazing, so that really helps us for this end goal right now.
Andre, you join a long list of very successful international players that have come to the NCAA and done really well, especially in your first year. How would you say that this level of volleyball that you see in the States stacks up to what you've seen internationally?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because it's often compared, I would say. I mean, it's a different style of volleyball, I would say, with really big physicalities. Almost any team we played was pretty physical, I would say, compared to where I used to play back then. But it's a different culture. People play a little differently, and just getting used to that was at the first part. I had the fall to get used to it a little bit. We had some good scrimmages too, where I started playing against U.S. players, and I mean there is kind of a difference, but at the end of the day, it's still volleyball. So it all comes down to some regular aspects such as serving and passing and just things in general. And then it's fun to see some players with really crazy athleticism in this league that I haven't seen before, and being able to play in such exciting games.
Coach Niffen, this question's for you. This building's been good to you for national championships. 2013 is the last one. How do you feel you've changed from 2013 to now, and will you still have Michael Brinkley styling your hair?
What a comment. It's a true story, too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a great question. I mean, I'd like to believe that we're all still, growing. I don't want to think that my core ethos has changed too much, but if I'm honest about it, it probably has. I think, when I started off playing the game, it was just something I was good at when I wasn't good at a lot of other things. And I think I kind of quickly fell into the trap. I was kind of big fish, small pond growing up in Northern California. And, to say I was the best player in the geographical area was both true and didn't mean anything. So I kind of made volleyball my identity for a while. And I think that's fun for a minute, and certainly gave me like an obsessive mentality with going in on it, and I think I rode that for a while. But the detriment to that too is I think probably burned up some relationships along the way, and wasn't maybe putting it in its proper place. I think a lot of that has changed, and I still love the game. I love coaching it. I probably love coaching it more now than I did when I came on the scene in 2013. I think there was still something about just trying to prove it. You know, remember I was coming in after we had won titles here too and taken over for Spera, and you know, I think on some level it was like, well, this is kind of a now or never moment. If we don't demonstrate that we can still win championships at Irvine, you know, what's going to happen? I think our identity isn't in winning and losing anymore, and I think that's a really healthy thing for us. I think it gives us the ability to compete freely. We're still chasing it. The objective is still the objective, and we're going to pursue it to the best of our ability, but I don't think that the outcome defines us anymore.
This is kind of a question for Coach and anybody else that wants to answer. I feel like this year, more than in years past, we've seen the Brett Event Center really become almost a home court advantage. And I know you guys started the new tradition of kind of walking through the crowd, and then I even saw pictures of you, Coach, shaking hands with some of the marching band members that were in the stands. Just talk a little bit about maybe the community outreach that you've done to, you know, bring these fans in and turning the Brent into, like I said, kind of a home court advantage. And then for the players, you know, what does that feel like to you guys having, you know, in my opinion, maybe a top 5 atmosphere in men's volleyball?
Well, first and foremost, I want to give full credit to the boys. You know, we were our first Princeton match of the season. I think it was Andre actually, we were talking a little bit about this idea of promoting, and he's like, I think it can make a difference if we stand out there, you know, like in front of our dining facility, the Anteatery, and we just kind of let people know we have a game. I think it can make a difference. And you know, I'm always really hesitant to push guys on stuff like that because, you know, you don't want to be, I don't know. Part of it's distracting. Also, I don't want to ask them to do things they don't want to do all the time. I do that enough. And but you know, they kind of did it, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, we had 1,600 people there for a Princeton game, which normally doesn't draw that way. And I thought, well, this is kind of cool, you know, and it's just kind of continued to build. And then full credit to the, you know, every university operates with constraints. You know, even the top Formula One team in industry would say we could do more if we had more, right? And so the magic isn't really in just like creating more resources and marketing opportunities and giveaways, but it's like, what can we do with the resources that we do have? And these guys were super willing to go out there and just connect with people. And then our game ops staff was open to this idea of taking a 10-minute break between games 2 and 3, which is, you know, fine for, you know, people do that for media sometimes. We're like, yeah, but what if we like walked up into the stands and like gave high fives during the match and started like personally thanking people for coming out, which sounds crazy. And these guys did it, which I still can't believe they did it on some level. And then we thought, wouldn't it be cool if while we're doing that, like, what if we brought some pizzas up there and we got like a, you know, we're in for $60 on pizza, whatever, you know, like, let's take some pizzas up in the stands and give them to our fans. And just that. And then we started doing some of this marketing education stuff. You know, we had the benefit of getting to go over to Europe this last summer, and we brought one of our administrators with us, and she got to see kind of how volleyball is put on as a production in Europe, which can be a lot different, you know, and varies very much so region to region. But so we came back and we started putting together, you know, Jake Hamlin's putting together with our social team, he's putting together educational videos on this is how you cheer for volleyball. Because some people go up there and it's like, we don't grow up watching volleyball, or at least my generation didn't grow up watching volleyball on ESPN, you know, and we didn't go to pro basketball games or college or pro volleyball games or collegiate games. So we didn't know how to cheer. You know, it's like if you put me at a water polo game, I don't know what to do. But if you educate me, then I'm going to get into it. And so we started educating our fans. And so it's not like it's one thing, but I'm super pumped, and I'm kind of passionate to share it with everyone because I think it's something that could catch on in the volleyball industry. It's there's so much about volleyball that is so fun for the fan. It's just such a dynamic game, and it's super engaging, and we're still at this kind of cool moment in time where I think your men's volleyball athletes for the most part just resonate with your population on campus. So yeah, I'm pumped on that. And I think you got to feel a little bit of that. Like, we traveled well last weekend, and I don't know if a crowd makes a difference in a match, but these guys would probably tell you it doesn't hurt. You know, and it felt like a home game in Pauley Pavilion last week. That was awesome, you know, and so full credit to our fans for that. Yeah.
looking towards this Ball State matchup, what do you like about you guys facing off against a team out of the Midwest that has proven some things to get to this moment?
As a competitor, I like that we get to play the best team in the Midwest, and I like that we get to play for me, the best positional outside hitter in the country.
Any more questions for coaches and athletes? Got one more in the corner over there.
Coach, coming off with a question with fans, talking to Anteater Nation, for anybody who's debating making the drive up here to Pauley Pavilion versus sitting at home and watching it on TV, what would be your message to provoke those fans or as we look at the matchups this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, there's just something about live sports. The unscripted rawness of it, something about feeling it, not seeing it through a screen. I mean, we spend so much time on our screens now, and just the idea that you can be in it. It's hard to know how to put a value on that for somebody else, but there is something that can be felt in this environment when you're there in person that you can't feel through a screen. And so I know that's not accessible for everyone, and I'm so grateful that we have the opportunity to transmit this to others that can't be here physically. And we have parents around the world that would love to be at this match and they can't be. So it's a great option, but gosh, if you're within striking distance and you feel like you can get on that student bus to get up here, we'd love to have you.